Since ancient times, humans have known how to use medicinal leaves and roots combined with folk remedies to treat illnesses. Today, we have access to many advanced technologies and artificial intelligence applications serving the healthcare field. To achieve those accomplishments, humanity in the field of medicine have had to endure a long and arduous journey filled with challenges. How did our human ancestors cope with disease? What drove the extraordinary geniuses to dare to overcome all barriers of their time, defying dangers to discover ways to save humanity? And how did medicine, from a field fraught with uncertainty, advance so remarkably to become one of the key pillars of modern science? Its history of development has become a vivid picture, reflecting humanity's aspiration to conquer oneself, overcome all adversities, and change destiny. Let's take a moment to look back at the first steps of this process in the next 30 minutes of today's video. General Medical History, Volume 1. The Foundation of Gai Ni Te. Around 1950, scientist Ralph Salicki conducted an excavation at Anshanita, in the Zakros mountain range, now part of Iraq's territory. Here, Salicki and the scientists discovered 10 sets of Neanderthal human remains, including men, women, and children. According to studies, these fossils date back 50,000 to 70,000 years, belonging to the Paleolithic era, one of the earliest stages of human history. More notably, traces of the floral parts have also been discovered. After conducting chemical and biological analyses, these residue samples were determined to originate from various plant species, including dandelion, mugwort, and fleabane. These plants all share one common trait: they all possess healing properties. Dandelion contains anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving compounds, aromatic essential oils with antibacterial properties, and fever-reducing support. These types of plants do not grow in the Sanita area, which proves that ancient people had to search for and gather them from various other places for use. It can be affirmed that these are the first milestones of medicine in the course of human development. At the same time, it also offers us a different perspective on the Neanderthal profession, one often regarded as outdated and underdeveloped. Approximately 30,000 to 50,000 years ago, the Neanderthals went extinct, and the ancestors of modern humans, Homo sapiens, began to emerge. During this period, humans primarily lived by hunting and gathering, dwelling in caves or beneath rock shelters. Certainly, they cannot avoid illness and injury. Therefore, finding treatments is inevitable. So how did the ancestors handle it? S theory of evolution, chimpanzees are humanity. Since ancient times, they have had the ability to sense their own illnesses. In their natural habitat in Central Africa, when infected with intestinal parasites, chimpanzees often roll up hairy, thorny leaves and swallow them. When the animal comes down to the ground, the rough surface of the soil will cause small sand grains to stick to its belly, which are then excreted through the process of elimination. Additionally, many sick apes seek out and eat the pith of Vernonia amygdalina, also known as bitter leaf. Scientists have discovered that the Vernonia plant contains numerous molecules capable of aiding in disease treatment. Of course, neither monkeys nor chimpanzees understand basic biochemistry to cure diseases. They simply recognize when their bodies feel unwell and instinctively seek out leaves to eat. This behavior was passed down from generation to generation until humans appeared on Earth. In the earliest times, humans already knew how to apply the methods passed down by their ancestors. Archaeologist Karen Hardy studied plant samples collected from 7 archaeological sites in Kandong, dating from approximately 8,000 to 79,000 years ago. Out of the total 212 identified plant species, approximately 60% are edible and can be used as food. They can be used as food, as medicine, or serve both purposes. The remaining 15%, while not edible, can have medicinal effects in small doses. This indicates that the Homo sapiens living in the Kandong region knew how to use special plants for medicinal purposes. When humans formed tribes, their initial understanding of health and healing methods gradually became more refined. Ancient people lived in harmony with nature, so they often worshipped natural elements such as the sun, moon, water, fire, and land. They believe that worshipping these forces will bring abundant harvests, favorable weather, and protection from natural disasters. Additionally, natural phenomena such as thunder and lightning, volcanic eruptions, floods, or solar eclipses all demonstrate the majestic power of the gods. From then on, worship rituals and sacrificial offerings emerged. These practices became widespread across nearly all aspects of life for primitive people at the time, including the field of medicine. Healing is often tied to rituals that seek blessings from deities or ancestors. Those who take on this noble responsibility are often called mages. A healing ritual typically involves various ceremonies, depending on the specific tribe and locality. Typically, the shaman priests sing sacred chants believed to have the power to drive away illnesses or evil spirits lurking within the human body. They danced while painting sacred symbols on the rocks to ward off evil spirits and resist malevolent forces. Moreover, the remedies used by the shaman are truly unique. Medicinal herbs will be burned to purify the air and ward off evil spirits. The ancients believed that drinking the blood of a prized animal killed in a hunt would grant them extraordinary strength. It sounds scary, but this treatment method is actually effective. Later, when scientists conducted research, drugs such as digitalis and mokfin were first discovered in a manner similar to this holiday occasion. This is also the foundation for the emergence of magic and witchcraft, as we mentioned in a previous video on the channel. Not only did ancient wise people build altars for rituals, but they also believed that these ceremonies could grant them supernatural power. But the wicked soul and evil aura often lurk right within the victim's mind. To drive them away, humanity developed the first surgical method called trepanation. Although drilling a hole into the skull may seem like a brutal method of torture, in reality, this method is considered an effective treatment with a history spanning approximately 10,000 years. In 1997, Russian archaeologists excavated a prehistoric burial site near the city of Rostov-on-Don in southern Russia. 35 sets of remains were discovered in 20 mass graves. The notable thing is that the group included 3 women and 2 men, all with an identical drilled hole in their skulls. It has a radius of a few centimeters, is oval-shaped, and has raised edges with a sloping top. Absolutely, this is the hallmark of Chopination's technique. Many believe that the crudeness of the Stone Age gave rise to methods of killing disguised under the guise of spiritual medicine. In fact, the survival rate of ancient patients was quite high, ranging from 40% to 90%, depending on the practitioner's skill. However, this method also carries very high risks. Despite the passage of time, Chopin's research remains a vital foundation for modern human brain surgeries. Around 10,000 BC, the rapid growth of the world's population made the nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle no longer sustainable. At first, we moved to settle in fertile lands and began farming. That is the foundation for the emergence of the first ancient civilizations. Mesopotamia is regarded as one of the world's earliest ancient civilizations, situated between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This civilization has achieved progress far beyond the early days of Homo sapiens. The medicine of ancient Mesopotamia thus flourished, forming a unique blend of early science and profound spiritual beliefs. Belief in the gods was the foundation of every aspect of ancient Mesopotamian life. In ancient medicine, people often believed in and worshipped the healing goddess Gula. She is regarded as the deity who has guided physicians in treating illnesses for over 2,000 years. The healing god, the image of a snake coiled around a staff, commonly seen in the medical field today, is also believed to have originated from him. Drawing from their accumulated experience, the Mesopotamians continuously studied and researched to discover numerous life-saving medical treatments. But it was also here that the first physician of the world's oldest traditional medicine was born. They belonged to the most respected class, having undergone extensive training before being allowed to work in the palaces. In Mesopotamia, there were 2 types of doctors, the Asu and the Ashipu. Asu is a physician who specializes in treating illnesses through medical therapies, including herbal remedies and surgical methods. The opposite of Asu is Ashipu, a healer who specializes in magic and surgical treatments. In contrast to Asu is Ashipu, a sorcerer who heals by intervening in the supernatural world through divination or seeking omens. Adults in Old Hanoi often believe that all illnesses originated from deities or evil spirits. Illness is seen as a punishment for sins committed against the gods. But even when innocent, people can still fall ill due to demonic harm. Different gods and demons each have the power to cause various kinds of illnesses, which is why humans always pay special attention to omens. The most typical example is dreaming, when we see a flickering flame or catch sight of an animal's image. Thus, the Ashipu emerged, serving a dual role as both sorcerers and healers. Not only that, but Ashu also possesses profound knowledge of anatomy and physiology. They study the structure and function of animal organs to derive anatomical principles, thereby improving the efficiency of medical practices. When needed, both Ashu and Ashipu would visit patients at home to examine them, while carefully recording significant omens encountered along the way as well as the patient's specific symptoms. The condition is monitored daily with simple dosage instructions. When diagnosing an illness, it is crucial to accurately identify the demon causing the disease, while also understanding the reason behind its actions. The primary purpose of treatment is to expel the demon or haunting spirit causing the illness, or to appease the anger of the gods. After a successful surgery, the patient will be prescribed herbal therapies combined with various medications. The medicine is usually crushed by the doctor in front of the patient, while the incantations are recited. And here is an ancient prescription recorded on the turtle shell you are admiring. According to the research, this mixture consists of pine resin, pine oil, holy basil, chamomile, ininu flower, and is then thoroughly mixed with milk and beer. Although there is limited documentation on surgical methods involving the tongue, antiseptics were invented by physicians early on. It is made from a mixture of alcohol, honey, and aromatic resin. The wound and surrounding skin area will be cleaned thoroughly with beer and warm water before the surgery is performed. But given the rudimentary level of medical expertise at the time, if the surgery failed, who would take responsibility? With belief in spiritual factors, the doctors will not be responsible if these supportive methods prove ineffective. According to the beliefs of ancient Mesopotamians, gods and demons were the true causes of illness, as well as the carriers of disease. It must be acknowledged that the medicine of this civilization would not advance if doctors refused to change. Has advanced significantly compared to the primitive era when humans first appeared on Earth. Although beliefs and supernatural abilities still significantly influence the diagnosis and treatment process. But they also possess evidence such as prescriptions and complex medical treatments. Along the Nile, ancient Egypt is also regarded as the cradle of world medicine. Thousands of years before Christ, the Egyptians had developed an astonishingly advanced medical system. Laid the foundation for many important medical achievements of humanity later on. It is not merely a field of science, but also a fusion of knowledge, culture, and spirituality. When feudal dynasties came to power, they focused on building a strong and stable government apparatus. The Ministry of Health is also one of the areas receiving special attention. Around 3000 BC, Egyptian medicine flourished with many remarkable achievements. Like the Mesopotamians, the people here also believed that health and illness were tied to the balance between the body and the spirit, as well as the influence of the gods. The ancient Egyptians believed that the human body was inherently born in a state of health, and illness or death only occurs due to external factors. Because they don't fully understand microbiology, endocrine diseases were believed to be caused by supernatural forces, including deities and demons. Therefore, the doctors will have to perform an exorcism ritual before applying medical treatments. This man is believed to be the first physician of ancient Egypt, as well as the high priest Imhotep. Far from the mummy images we often see in movies, Imhotep was truly a man of extraordinary talent. In 2630 BC, upon assuming the position of Prime Minister of Records, Imhotep declared that the gods had granted him the magic of healing. Then, opened a medical training school for both men and women. The first skull surgeries were performed directly by the high priest himself, a master of medical arts. Imhotep used prayer incantations to hypnotize patients, thereby inducing anesthesia. The farmer drank a herbal sleeping potion containing an anesthetic. When the patient had lost sensation, he used gold to prevent blood infection and reduce the risk of death. Besides his surgical talent, Imhotep was also the first to systematize medical knowledge. Medicine has shifted from belief in supernatural elements to a scientific and evidence-based approach. According to him, illness does not stem solely from mystical or spiritual causes, but also involves many practical and bizarre principles. Imhotep emphasized the importance of closely monitoring symptoms and the progression of the disease. And this is the essential basis for diagnosing the disease, which we commonly see today. The principles of diet, lifestyle, and environmental influences are also given special attention. The biggest difference is that Imhotep no longer relies too heavily on spiritual elements in healing, and focus on analyzing practical causes. He carefully recorded and preserved all the knowledge he acquired, for documents such as the Edwin Smith Papyrus. After Imhotep was born, Frank Sneferu deeply mourns the passing of a national treasure, so he ordered the doctors to devote all their efforts to researching and developing a special medicine. That is the elixir of immortality. The ancient physicians of Aikub believed that you should bathe 3 times a day and shave all body hair. Hair on the head helps prevent bacteria from entering the body. They also advised the king to avoid eating fatty foods, especially raw fish, because they cause internal heat, leading to discomfort and restlessness, and weaken the heart, causing irregular heartbeat. And this method really delivers noticeable results. Pharaoh Pepe II faithfully followed those instructions and lived to the age of 94. At the end of his reign, that is, in 2181 BC. This long-lived king established a royal-style hospital practice model, and recruits skilled doctors across diverse specialties. The royal physician observed that wearing heavy gold jewelry, it can destroy the tumor right as it begins to form. This relationship has somewhat clearly reflected. The ancients were already aware of the need to prevent this dreaded smallpox disease. Looking back at the remarkable achievements of ancient Ayub medicine, we can clearly observe the shift from spiritual-based diagnosis to methods grounded in natural factors. But it's not without reason that many people say, long ago, Ayub once had an exceptionally advanced healthcare system, far surpassing contemporary civilizations, and with the following medical technique, you might hardly encounter it in many distant countries. That is the method of embalming. The ancient Ayub people believed that each of us possesses a soul. Upon death, a part of the soul remains eternally bound to the body. Thus, the careful preservation of the body became an extremely important ritual in this pyramid civilization. However, this process is quite complex and requires specialized knowledge along with diverse skills. So how did Ayub act? The embalming must be performed by priests or specialized professionals. They are seen as the bridge between the human world and the sacred realm. To ensure the process is carried out in accordance with religious rites. This process begins with removing the brain and internal organs to prevent rapid decomposition. Besides the heart, because it is believed to hold the memories and emotions of the deceased. They were preserved in separate jars, called canopic jars. The body was then cleaned, embalmed with herbal liquor, spices, and a special salt called neutron to accelerate the dehydration process. Then, the physicians would cleanse the body, wrap it tightly in linen cloths, and place protective amulets between the layers. Afterward, the body was preserved with Rexin plastic to maintain its shape and prevent bacterial growth. The entire process will take place within 70 days. Finally, the mummies would be fitted with masks, placed in coffins, and carefully sealed. Thanks to this practice, the mummies of ancient Egyptians have been preserved almost intact to this day. Many scientists using TX in research also point out that the nerves and blood vessels in the skin layer of the hand have a different structure compared to the artificial layer. And even the fat cells remained completely unharmed. As a result, we can see that their medical expertise was extremely advanced, as they knew how to preserve bodies intact for thousands of years. Additionally, the mummy provides valuable insights, reflecting the advancements in anatomy and medical techniques of the ancient Egyptians. Alongside Mesopotamia and Egypt, ancient China also developed a brilliant medical tradition. However, it is not based on spiritual elements, but rather formed from philosophy, observation of nature, and practical experience. Thus, the ancient methods of China are still applied and passed down by humanity to this very day. According to legend, Yandi was one of the 3 mythical emperors who lived around 5,000 years ago, renowned for his profound knowledge of medicine and agriculture. He taught people how to cultivate crops, domesticate livestock, and use agricultural tools. For this reason, the ancient Chinese revered him as Shenong, the divine farmer. Additionally, he personally tasted hundreds of plants to determine which could be used as medicine and which were poisonous. Legend has it that Shenong tasted 365 kinds of herbs and once suffered poisoning 70 times in a single day. However, thanks to his extraordinary talent, he discovered natural-inspired healing methods. Later, he compiled and recorded the various medicinal herbs and their uses in the book Shenong's Classic of Materia Medica. Thus, ancient Chinese medicine took shape. He realized that the man was too deeply influenced by the spiritual elements of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, rather than relying more on natural factors. That is the yin-yang theory, one of the foundational philosophies of China. This doctrine originates from the perspective that all things in the universe are composed of 2 opposing elements, yet they complement and harmonize with each other, thereby creating balance and driving continuous development. It has formed and developed over thousands of years, being widely applied in many aspects of life, including medicine. Yin symbolizes darkness, coldness, stillness, femininity, passivity, and introspection. In nature, the feminine principle is associated with the darkness of night, the cold of winter, still waters, the solidity of the earth, gentle softness, hidden mysteries, and elements that protect, nurture, and preserve. Additionally, yang symbolizes brightness, heat, movement, masculinity, vitality, and extroversion. Yang symbolizes light, energy, warmth, openness, and creativity. The yin-yang theory posits that all things and phenomena in the universe arise from the interaction between these two elements. Yin and yang, though possessing opposing characteristics, cannot exist independently but always interact and support each other. In traditional Chinese medicine, human life is seen as the result of balance and harmony between the two principles of yin and yang. When the yin and yang in the body are balanced, health remains stable, but if either element becomes unbalanced, illness will arise. For example, if yin is excessively dominant, it can cause fluid stagnation, leading to blocked qi and blood, while excessive yang may result in high fever, dryness, or dehydration. In traditional Chinese medicine, disease diagnosis is based on assessing the balance between yin and yang in the body. The medications will be determined based on symptoms such as body temperature, pulse, complexion, and external manifestations to assess the patient's yin-yang condition. As a result, prescribing medication will be more accurate, helping to shorten the treatment time. Not stopping there, the yin-yang theory also gave rise to a unique healing method, found exclusively in ancient Chinese medicine. This is acupuncture. The first person to develop this method was none other than Bian Ke, one of the 4 great renowned physicians of ancient China. According to Bian Ke, treatment methods include using acupuncture needles to stimulate acupoints, combined with moxibustion and other herbs to generate heat, thereby enhancing therapeutic effectiveness. This method is based on the principles of qi and blood circulation in the meridian system. According to traditional Chinese medical theory, qi is the vital energy within the body, flowing through the meridian system composed of channels and collaterals. If the flow of energy is blocked or poor, it will lead to illness. The purpose of acupuncture is to regulate and enhance the circulation of qi and blood in the body, thereby maintaining balance and improving overall health. Acupuncture can treat various types of diseases, including chronic conditions such as back pain, headaches, arthritis, as well as digestive, respiratory, and neurological issues. In some cases, this method helps improve blood and energy circulation, relieve pain, enhance immune function, and regulate bodily imbalances. Additionally, this method is also applied in post-surgery, accident, or injury rehabilitation, helping to improve blood circulation, restore muscle function, and enhance physical strength. It is evident that acupuncture is a non-invasive, safe, and highly effective treatment method. This approach is widely applied to help the body maintain balance and support the treatment of various ailments. It has been effective since the primitive remedies of traditional Chinese medicine up to the present day. Alongside the theory of yin and yang, the 5 elements theory is also one of the fundamental theoretical foundations of traditional medicine, playing a central role in explaining how the human body functions and natural phenomena operate. The 5 elements consist of 5 fundamental components: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Each of these elements not only symbolizes material components but also reflects the operational laws of both the universe and the human body. Establish a mutually supportive and harmonious relationship between these elements. They not only exist individually but also have a relationship that is both supportive and opposing to each other. In traditional Chinese medicine, the theory of the 5 elements is widely and commonly applied. The 5 elements theory helps Chinese physicians identify the root cause of diseases. By observing the imbalance among the 5 elemental factors, common symptoms include fatigue, body aches, unusual sensations of heat or cold, and indigestion. It might be due to an imbalance between these factors. The 5 elements theory is not only applied in disease treatment but also holds many other practical values in maintaining health and preventing diseases. For example, one's diet should align with seasonal characteristics and follow the principles of the 5 elements. This can help the body maintain balance and boost immunity. Notably, alongside the theory of yin and yang, the 5 elements are also an indispensable component in acupuncture. These effective methods have been replicated in many countries. Like Korea, Japan, and other Southeast Asian countries, Vietnam has also developed its own traditional medical system. Chinese medicine, including acupuncture, is widely recognized worldwide and applied in modern medicine. This approach is completely different from that of the ancient Icap people in Mesopotamian civilization. Has become a distinctive symbol of ancient China, highlighting the close connection between the body, mind, and living environment. Change the perspective on health and healing methods. Chinese medicine not only boasts unique healing methods but also vividly showcases the creative brilliance of Eastern people. They researched and developed herbal remedies focusing on the use of medicinal herbs and use natural ingredients to prevent as well as support disease treatment. And this is also the foundation of a rather widespread field of study today, traditional medicine. You are witnessing one of the clearest and most genuine pieces of evidence firsthand on the accumulation of herbal medicine knowledge over thousands of years by the Chinese people. This collection consists of inscriptions on turtle shells and animal bones from the Shang dynasty, around 5600 to 1046 BC. This shows that traditional Chinese medicine had reached a high level of sophistication very early on. With its favorable climate, China is home to many rare medicinal herbs, where they thrive and flourish. Most notably, ginseng, lingzi, astragalus, angelica, and white atractylodes, used to enhance health, support disease treatment, and prolong lifespan. The ancients knew how to use sulfur, cinnabar, and arsenic in appropriate doses during that period. Because they contain very potent toxins, you can easily spot these minerals in Chinese martial arts films. Moreover, animal-derived ingredients such as rhino horn, bear bile, or walrus ivory are also used in disease treatment. However, they are currently restricted due to conservation requirements. So, how did the ancient Chinese turn those plants, resources, and animals into medicinal remedies? They will process the medicinal herbs using various methods such as dry frying until golden, roasting until cooked, marinating, or charring them into charcoal. Using medicinal baths or herbal soaks to enhance treatment effectiveness or reduce side effects. For example, after processing, H2O*, a medicinal ingredient, will have a stronger blood tonifying effect but reduced other properties. Monarch, minister, assistant, envoy. Monarch is the primary herb with direct therapeutic effects, and the porcelain has the task of delivering medicine to the organ that needs healing. Thanks to that, many effective remedies have been developed and continue to be widely used and passed down to this day. 8 Treasures Soup. This method has proven highly effective in treating common medical conditions. From this, it can be seen that pharmacognosy is an immensely significant achievement of ancient Chinese medicine. It has built a rich system of knowledge, shaped by practical experience and a solid theoretical foundation. Achievements in the exploration, classification, processing, and application of medicinal herbs has made significant contributions to the development of both traditional and modern medicine. Today, traditional Chinese medicine remains an important source of inspiration and foundation during the research and development of effective treatment methods. From simple healing methods based on observing nature, to today's complex medical systems. The ancients laid the foundation for medical theories and methods that still profoundly influence modern medicine today. They diagnose illness not only with their hands, but also with unwavering faith and harmony with the spirits and the universe. A series of achievements emerged, forming the first pieces of the puzzle for humanity's medical landscape. These efforts not only help push back the darkness of disease but also affirm the wisdom and the innate human desire to reach for happiness. When turning the pages of that history, we witness not only the first steps of medicine, but also absorb the creative spirit and humanistic values that transcend all eras. How will future generations carry on and build upon these achievements? What lessons can humanity learn from the past to build a better future of medicine? You will find the answer in the next part of this series.